jump right into the winner. Say, Nick, did you get a chance to view any of the games, or were you just mostly focused on League of Legends Worlds this past weekend?
It's just, dude, it's Worlds. Like I'm stuck on League right now.
Dude, yeah, it's a good moment for League. There's a lot happening for it, so definitely not a bad thing. But, you know, a lot of other things happening this past weekend, including Arena World Cup and the, Cup 4 champions, the Move NA Cup 4 champions. Congratulations on taking first place here in this bracket. It was a bit of a harrowing experience back and forth. They put as the tweet here says, they put the work in to come back from the lower bracket, then put on a fantastic performance in the NA Grand Finals. Wonderful to see. We'll go over the bracket in a second. And this is going to have big implications on the points of who's going to the Grand Finals, who's got to compete in the Gauntlet series to see if they can make it to Grand Finals. That's all going to come up in a second. But, you know, this was the last cup of qualifying. So this meant a lot to a lot of teams. Specifically, was it F tier? You know, F tier is Peekaboo's team, man. And like, we'll take a look at the bracket here. This is the video. We're going to, like, you know, watching the VOD in a second. This is pretty much going over what happened through that. And then without spoiling, I mean, we already spoiled the end, but F tier, I want to call out here. It's round 1. They lose to the Move, who eventually goes and wins. They get dropped down into elimination lower bracket and manage to take some wins, which is big. It matters a lot, but then lose again to the Move. The Move then works his way from under the lower bracket, under down low, the underworld, and come back to fight against last Cup 3s. Welcome to the Jungle. Welcome to the Jung champions. And beat them. And we're going to take a look there. But, you know, overall, Nick, with that so far, how does that vibe, and what are your thoughts and opinions?
First off, I need to correct you, and you need to apologize. Okay. All right?
Okay.
Who is on the Move? Who's on the who is playing on the Move? He's on the screen right now.
Oh, it is Peekaboo. I apologize. Yeah, sorry.
I know who won.
It is Peekaboo.
I know my boy won.
I could have sworn it was F tier, but it's not. I swapped out my brain. My bad.
That's why I was like,
moment.
Yeah, dude. He slapped those cheeks. Like I love it, dude. Like I was jazzed. I did watch all of his. I watched all of these matches. I did not watch anything else. I watched Peekaboo's channel very much all the time. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I mean, and glad you corrected me on that. I had a little bit of a dyslexic moment, but this was a match that got me hyped as well, because this was a moment in a situation that, you know, they're going against the last Cup's champions. The Cup, Welcome to the Jung has been in top bracket the entire tournament for this Cup 4. And it wasn't necessarily, I don't want to say it wasn't looking good, but they were definitely the underdogs, and they definitely came to play and solved it. That's pretty straightforward. They solved it. I want to point out really quickly too, Peekaboo not on the rogue that he's known for. Yeah. They're running Shadow Priest, Holy Pally, and Feral Druid, Cat Druid. And you know, making that comp work, pushing that. I know Shadow Priests are feeling really busted right now in PvP, and definitely 3s, because every team seems to be running that Shadow Priest comp, especially paired with the Feral Druid. I think it's literally jungle comp. Is that correct? Or is that Hunter Feral?
I think it's Hunter Feral. I don't really know the names of comps too well, but like he plays everything. That's it. Like, he plays everything really well. Like, he plays PvP a lot. You know, like this is what he does.
I want to ask that question though, because we know Peekaboo is a player who keeps showing up in these events. He keeps competitive. He keeps making that. Well, like you said, like I said, he's known for rogue play. On his stream, he plays a lot of different characters competitively, but to play them at this high of a level against other teams best in the world. Welcome to the Jungle won last Cup. Echo is in this tournament. Team Liquid is in this tournament. You've got world best players and world best organizations competing here, and here you keep seeing that Peekaboo name, right? He's up there playing that variety of characters at this level. You're saying, Nick?
Yeah, most of them. Like mostly, there's a few specs that we could probably say like he's not the best on, right? But he plays every spec. He gets them. He gears them all the way up, and he goes for Glad on every single spec, every single like season for the most part. Like he does it a lot, man. Like it's his thing, you know. And he's been doing it for a while now, where he tries to get everything up, and so it's one of those situations where I think like his game knowledge in PvP is just getting that much more immense because he's playing every single spec there is. Excuse me. It doesn't matter if it's a healer or not.
Yeah, with WoW, that's super important because every patch can be a big change. Today is the 20th anniversary of World of Warcraft. They're putting out a new patch that's changing a lot of hero talents, changing a lot of talents for rogues, even specifically his main sort of class and spec. Then you've got all the different stylings and happenings from expansion to expansion, like every kind of shakeup from season to season. So, you know, that makes it for a great point, playing all those different classes, all those different specs that much, definitely increasing his game knowledge. And it's coming to a fruition, something like here, where they're able to take down Welcome to the Jungle and, you know, make the win. We're still in map 1, 6 minutes in. They've got 29%, I think 29% dampening going on. And we're seeing some close calls. Currently, they're pressuring Drake with a lot of cooldowns happening, all those blue beams, but they hold the Cyclone on them that stops some dots, stops some things. They hard switch to another target and then back on Drake here. So like, you know, they know what's going on. They have a good game knowledge, a good game sense, and they're putting the pressure across the board. I do want to point out though, that Zhang, as far as on the left team, the Holy Paladin on Welcome to the Jungle, he's been rocking like 30 to 50% mana. He's kind of been winning in that race up until the like right now, honestly. Absterge on the move, kind of like maintaining that 20 to 30% mana, which can win fights in the situation, is really the thing that like drags stuff out. You know, so like a lot of interesting like aspects and points to look at with this. And that might be one thing with WoW Arena can feel so overwhelming, since it feel like so much going on because all the different cooldowns. And it is definitely more of a marathon aspect and how you manage that and whatnot. So, you know, a lot here. This is just game 1, 37% dampening after 7 minutes into the game. And we're already seeing close calls on Peekaboo, on Drake, on Wiz and Prev. Nick, we're looking at this a lot. We can switch into the actual results, actual points and whatnot, but any sort of like any takeaways currently with the VOD that we're watching here as you're, we got to unmute you and get your thoughts as I'm continuing to talk.
It's true. I did need to unmute myself. Dampening needs to go, bro. Like, I think this game needs to be more balanced. Like, this is very silly that dampening needs to be a thing in PvP, but
hey, Billy here. Wanted to take a quick minute to let you know a few different things. If you enjoyed the video so far, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps us out and it tells the algorithm to share it with more people. You can find the Esports Meta live every week on Twitch and YouTube. It's where we film the podcast or hang out, play games, and chat. If social media is more your vibe, check us out on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, or Twitter if you use Threads. Does anybody use Threads? This is a video game community that's excited to talk about esports, so jump into the conversation. Of course, you can find more videos like this here on YouTube. Just hit that subscribe button right there or there. Thanks for watching, and let's get back to the show.
Being up that high, like it's really just making the right calls at the right moment for the most part. Like it comes down when it's this high level of play, it really just comes down to whose reaction is better, like whose instincts are better, what calls, like do they mesh what better, stuff like that. But we are seeing a little bit too much Shadow Priest, but that's been going on for a while. Like they bring a little bit too much to the table, kind of, you know? And same thing with like Paladin.
Priests in general have been strong, and then Shadow Priests have been especially strong this past patch and expansion.
Yep.
Not so much for PvE, but, you know, they have their place here in PvP. So at least in the first round here, you can see they took down Drake. And the move take the win off the first one. From there, let's swap into the overall bracket. Again, take a look at the grand finals. The Move ultimately winning it. They took round 1. They took round 2. Welcome to the Jungle takes round 3. Same comps across the board, mirroring each other as well, all the way to round 5 and 6, and then the Move win it 4-2 in round 6. So congratulations to the Move. Congratulations to Peekaboo, Wiz, and Absturge. You got the points. You made it in. Let's take a look overall at the bracket for who's going to the grand finals. Just going to run down the names here. Welcome to the Jungle. They had a big competition last weekend. They did really well in this cup, coming in second place. So they entering first place in the North America Cup standings with 440 points. F tier. And this is why I was kind of focused on F tier. They're coming in second place with 300 points. They're able to absorb as many points as possible through all 4 cups and qualify for the grand finals. And then you've got the Move with 280 points, taking first place in this Cup 4, making their name here and not having to sweat any more, but they get to kind of sit easy. Then we go into 4th, 5th, 6th, and beyond. We have Team Liquid, Power Toads, Silk Tigers, Mentally Damp, The Absurd, Unitas, Team for the Memes, Awaken, and Plunderstorm Gamers. Congratulations to those players making moves, getting, the gauntlet down here. So the gauntlet is going to work from 8th place all the way up to 4th place, I believe it is. Yeah. So that's going to be everybody else from other than Welcome to the Jungle, F tier, and the Move, who've qualified for grand finals. We're going to start round 1 later this month, or actually in November, later next month, with Mentally Damped and Absurd fighting to stay in. And if you win, you move on to the next round. You basically have to go all the way to the end to make it. So only one team, I believe, is going to be making it at the end of this. Best of 5 matches. And the road is pretty steep. They're going to be having to fight Mentally Damped, Silk Tigers, Power Toads, and then final boss, Team Liquid, to make it out of the gauntlet and into the grand finals here. Nick, we're looking at the points. Any sort of observations? How do you feel is this looking? Team Liquid in 4th place, a little bit disappointing, right? I think you're coughing again, so we had the mute.
Yep, they're gonna make it. Like it's only one team that makes it out, right? It cuts down to 4. I think it was.
I believe so. We can double check that fact, but I believe it is a gauntlet for the last 4.
Yeah. Based on
so I can check.
Based on the 2, I would literally say that there's only a possibility of the 2 teams, right? Team Liquid and Power Toads, which is a dope ass name. A couple of those names need to be vetoed. Like a real veto needs to happen. Team for the Memes, change it. Plunderstorm Gamers, get out of here. Get a better name. I don't care what you call yourself, man. Call yourself Motorcycles. It's just a better name.
Well, that was one of the best parts about WoW Arena is that you get to make the team charter and then you get to name the team ridiculous. And of course, we saw some not safe for work names across the board. But generally speaking, that was a great place to show your creativity. Same with overall with what's it called? The guild names, right? You get to show some creativity over the so I'm taking a look at the gauntlet. I'm trying to read while I'm talking at the same time here as I'm being flashbanged. The winner of match 4, AWC Gauntlet winner and qualifiers, qualifies to the respective midseason clash. Event 2 teams tied in qualification. The Gauntlet midseason clash or finals. So it does still seem that only one team is going to make it out of the Gauntlet, but they will be competing for some prize pool there for playing those extra games. All right, definitely cool to see. It was a great event to happen. Arena has been that consistent esport for WoW, and currently the health of arena games has been really solid. I do agree with you when we're talking about dampening and how it needs to be there to impact healing in a substantial way. because I do remember, I think it was back in Cata when it was double blood death knights that stacked in twos, and they just were unkillable. And dampening was something to help limit that. Again, can it be done without dampening? Probably. Is that dampening just a band-aid? Possibly. But it's something to look at. And currently, overall, PvP is feeling pretty solid. Arena is feeling pretty good. I've seen players who haven't played Arena in some time coming back to WoW because the War Within has been really solid of an expansion. But yeah, any sort of thoughts? How are you expecting this rest of this competition and rest of this WoW Arena season to look for yourself, Nick, or as we check out this final aspect of it?
I'll watch the next part. Like the next part is going to be where I watch more Peekaboo, like I watch his stream a lot. He is one of the guys that like I'll watch because it is just like WoW PvP all the time, no matter what. Like, hey guys, what are we doing today? Well, we're probably drinking something. We're probably playing some WoW PvP. It's pretty easy. Like, yeah, that's it. Like we do it for the boys. Like it's a good time for the most part. And I just go ahead.
I was gonna say he does a great job too at like building community around it and with him. And that's something we love to see and we talk about with esports, that it can't be this solo endeavor of just like shooting one direction, right? Like we try to see with traditional sports or even like, the Overwatch League or even League of Legends. It feels very one-sided a lot of times. Having those individual streamers build those communities like Peekaboo has, I think he's a great example of maybe the model we would like to see more happen in esports, where you're playing with the viewers, and the viewers are emotionally attached, so they're going to jump in and watch him stream as they compete for first place in this cup, as they're going to move into the grand finals. We do have some time until the next time we're going to see Peekaboo compete with the move, and that's not until grand finals. But when he does, he's going to be competing for a ton of money, a couple $100,000 of his share for sure. So definitely going to be hyped to see, and the team around him, the community around him is also going to be excited to watch that.
Definitely.
All right. So on that note, we're going to wrap up our coverage on Arena World Cup, Arena World Championship. We're going to be looking forward to seeing the Gauntlet. The Gauntlet seems to be very high stake, very high energy, very tiring. Is it just going to be a back and forth? One team wins, then another team wins, or is somebody going to be able to make a run in this bracket? Because it is going to be looking pretty tough to go 4-0 against these teams, 5-0 against these teams. But we'll see when that happens coming up in a couple weeks. For now, we're going to be moving away from Arena World Cup and into